Okay, Rat Rod World, I'm going to give you a quick lesson in how a brake light sending unit works. This particular one here is an electronic one. They also make one that goes actually into the brake line. Usually they fit on the back of the master cylinder, and they're activated from within with the brake pressure. Those are pretty cool and pretty dependable, but you have to break your brake line open and bleed everything to install them, and it's kind of a lot, you know. For my money and all, this one will be just fine. What you do is you mount this one behind the brake pedal so that when the brake pedal is not depressed, this is mashed in. When you depress the brake pedal and this moves, this makes the light work. And I was just kind of in a sloppy fashion going to show you how that works. So I got my 2 wires from my battery here. And you can see when I put those 2 wires together, it lights up the light. Let me get this right so I can hold it. And when you depress this, light goes out. And when you take it, so what actually happens is when you hit the brake, this comes out, and when this comes out, the light comes on. Simple as that. That is the point right there where the actual brake light action happens. What I'll do is I'll mount this underneath the brake pedal on the bottom side, so that when I mash the pedal down and the bottom side goes in like this, it will release this button, and that'll make my brake lights work. It's going to take a little bit of fabricating. The nice thing about it is this thing is threaded, so all I got to do is put a piece of metal there with a hole. I can screw this in until I get to the exact right place, lock it in place with these 2 nuts, and then it should be good. The only concern I have is this is going to be under the car, so this is going to be subject to get splashed with water and mud and stuff. I might make some kind of a little something to cover it over just to shield it a little bit. I don't know what, but anyway, that's the thought I'm having. Well, all I can say is thank the good Lord for floor jacks. I got the old girl all up in the air here. Seems like a good time to go to work on that brake. What am I trying to say? Brake light switch. I'll show you how that's going to work. Okay, here we are up under the old girl, and as I showed you before, this brake light switch needs to be mounted right here in such a way that when this brake is where it is right now, this is depressed. And I don't mean like it needs Prozac, I mean depressed like that button is pushed in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fabricate up some kind of a little thing with a hole in it, a little piece of metal that I can spot weld onto the side of that mount right there and attach this to. Okay, I found this piece in my metal bucket. This is a piece that used to be part of the old hood on the old fire truck, and this fits right into it. Seems to me if I get this at the right angle and spot weld it up in there, I should be able to adjust that in and out. That should work just like a pro. So let's give that a shot. Okay, I'll show you what I have before I weld it. Instead of welding this up into place here, I bolted it. I had a bolt that held this brace on. I put a bolt in this piece, brought it down to here, clamped these 2 pieces together. I have my sending unit in that piece, and it's fully depressed, and there's room to adjust it on both sides, so I can adjust it in and out once I get this done. With this clamped right here, all I have to do pretty much is take this bolt out. See if I can get it where you can see what I'm pointing at. Take this bolt out and make sure that this clamp doesn't move. I can go ahead and unscrew this nylon piece, and then I can weld these 2 and trim off any of the extra stuff, and then bring it back over here, bolt it into place, and it should work. The reason I like this better than a welded on piece is that I can unbolt it and adjust it and put it back on. If I'm working on the brakes and I need it out of my way, I can get it out of my way. And I don't like the idea of welding in a piece that has to be kind of adjusted exactly right, laying under a car on jack stands, because to be honest with you, it's kind of hard to weld uphill over your head, if you know what I mean. And it just makes a lot more sense to have this be something that is removable. There's not a great deal of pressure on that, so that's plenty strong enough. And by the way, just as a point of interest, these pieces are part of the old hood mechanism on the fire truck, so it's kind of neat to use some old pieces and parts of the old fire truck back on the old girl. So I'll weld that up, we'll put it in place, and then we'll hook a light to it and watch the lights come on and off. That'll be a lot of fun. Okay, here we are. I've set this battery up here, and I'm using this interior dome light to simulate the brakes. I have the brake light sending unit all hooked up down there so that when I mash that pedal, it releases that little pin on the end like I showed you before. When that happens, voila, we have light. That's how the brake lights work. All I have to do now is run the same type wiring system to the back of the car, to those handy dandy little new lights that I put in a while back, and we'll have brake lights on the back of the car. One more little thing taken care of. Y'all have a nice day.